Hey guys, Aaron here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do the first oil change on my Cub Cadet zero turn mower. So as you can see, I am sitting on it right now, and I had a little issue with the Achilles tendon. So my buddy Eric is going to be my stand-in mechanic for today. Just so you guys know, I do have a playlist on this. If you want to check out the playlist, you can follow along and see the other maintenance items. But I added this hour meter. So when you turn it on, you can see that right now it gives you the voltage, and also I have 4.2 hours on this thing. I actually really have 5 because I didn't install this until after mowing for the first time. So after your first 5 hours is when you want to do your initial break-in oil change. So I have the Cub Cadet ZT150, but pretty much all of these mowers are the same. So I just ran it for just a couple minutes to warm it up a little bit. It's a little bit warm to the touch so you can get the oil to flow out. But this tube right here is conveniently located where your oil is going to come out. So once you unscrew that, your oil drains. So you just put an oil drain plug down there, open that, your oil will drain out, and the oil filter is right here. We're gonna change that next. So you can see this bottom bolt is square, but an 11 millimeter fits on it, and the top one is a more standard shape, and a 19 millimeter will fit on that. And you can see that a little bit of that orange right there is something that they put on the factory, like a Loctite to kind of seal it. So we're gonna have to break that seal. All right, so getting it off the first time, it should be nice and tight. And I read some people online said that they actually tightened it a little bit first and then loosened it up just to break that seal, but whatever you need to do. It's coming out.
All right, let's see if I can aim it good.
I was not a good enough friend to offer Eric gloves, so he's on his own. Oh, look at that, nice fresh oil. I don't think I've ever changed oil in a vehicle that looked actually like clean oil. But because your engine is new and there are metal bits that are settling, and some of them might shear off, you're gonna wanna make sure you get them all out early on. That's what the first oil change is for. So we're just gonna let this drain. And this is the oil fill up here. So go ahead and open that, loosen it up, and it should help this drain a little bit faster probably. And then while that's happening, we're just gonna get a rag to stick under this, because when you open this, it's gonna be dripping oil down here. You don't wanna get your mower all messy.
Looks like there's a little channel they made for the oil to drain out.
That'd be good. All right, so depending on how tight this is, you might be able to just turn it with your hands to remove it, or we might need to get a little tool for it. Lefty loosey.
Oh, that's definitely.
All right, I got it on tight. All right, we'll get a tool. All right, so we got one of these little oil filter grabby gadgets. I'll put a link to that on Amazon in case you want to get one of these. Just allows you to get a good grip on this thing and turn it.
Oh, that's a disposable one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting rid of it. So don't worry if you damage the one you're taking off. And there's the reason for the rags. All right, and then just dump your excess from that stuff into your bucket. Most buckets have a nice little spot to put them, to let them drain. All right, here is the filter that we're using, genuine Kohler one that I got on Amazon. Along with the oil, these both showed up in a day. This came in a pack of 2 liters because you're gonna need your 2 quarts. All right, so if in doubt, your filter has instructions right there on it. You're gonna pre-fill a little bit of oil just to, it says to the base of the threads, which is all the way up here, but we're turning it like this to mount it. So yeah, we're not gonna go that far. Just a little bit of oil in there to let it start soaking into the filter. And then you always wanna take a little bit of oil, put it on this seal so it doesn't bind, gives you a nice tight fit. All right, so we put a little bit of oil in here. Somehow this wasn't recording when I did that. We filled it about halfway up, and you can see that there is some fresh oil on the gasket. We're gonna go ahead and slap that on now and try not to dump out the oil.
Clean the sealing surface.
All right, and then when it gets snug, they say you usually want to go to like a quarter or a half a turn more, so it'll be on tight. But if you do it as hard as you can with your hand, it's gonna work.
Yep, that's right.
Now you could use this or another tool to snug it even tighter, but you risk actually damaging the filter itself. So I think it's better just to go as hard as you can with your hands, and better safe than sorry. Now we can go ahead and plug up the little cap on the bottom. Just get that nice and cleaned off. All right, now I don't have a torque wrench or anything that I'm gonna use on this, but once it's on there really tight, it's on there. It's not gonna fall off. All right, so step number 4, actually in your owner's manual tells you that to tighten that square-headed hose plug to 16 foot-pounds or 22 Newton meters, which is not that tight at all. So as long as you get it on there hand tight, you're good. And we're just gonna go ahead and put 2 liters or quarts, since we have 2 quarts right in here. And this also has your dipstick on the end of it.
Right here.
All right, so you'll probably get a little bit of oil down there. Just go ahead and take a rag and wipe that off. Just like new. All right, just stick the oil filter down in the fill tube and then go ahead and put in both of these bottles. All right, while that's going in, let me just show you this fill tube. It actually has instructions on it. When you check the level, you do not screw it in. You just put it in until it stops and then pull it out to check the level. Here's our level right here. You can see those 4 little dots are the area you want it. If it goes over that bar on the right that says full, that's too much oil. If it's below the bar on the left, that is too little. You want it right in the middle of this thing, ideally. All right, stick it in. Don't tighten it. Just pull it back out. Have a rag ready, and we're over full, looks like. But that's probably gonna be the case until you start the mower, because once you start it, the oil gets into the engine and into that filter that we didn't fill up all the way. So we're gonna go ahead and start the engine now. All right, after letting it sit for another couple minutes to let the oil drain back into the system, we'll go ahead and pull it. Just clean it off, and then stick it in and pull it right out. And still a little over full.
No, I think you're right at full.
Oh, yeah, now we are right under full, like that 4th dot, so.
Yeah, I think the side when it goes in, it dips on top.
So yeah, that is perfect. So now we can put that back on and dispose of our oil properly, and our oil change is complete. So under here are 4 engine mounting bolts, the 4 bolts that are holding the engine onto the mower. So you're actually supposed to check the torque on them, but we're just gonna make sure that they're not loose. So it gives you the actual torque values that they're supposed to be. Right here is 95 to 122 Newton meters. Oh, sorry. Right here is 37 to 50 Newton meters. And then you're supposed to check the blade and make sure that the nut that are holding the blades on are tight, so that you're, I guess this is just a double check from the factory to make sure they didn't screw anything up and your blades aren't about to fly off. And then you're just gonna wanna check over your fuel system, all of the caps and lines and fittings, make sure that that all looks good. And then it says last to check the spark arrestor. So I guess that's just the cap that covers your spark plug, which, let me go see where that is. All right, so for this one, the spark plug, there are actually two of them, one on each side. So you just kind of want to check this and make sure that it is actually on your spark plug. One over there. All right, so under this little flap here is the air filter. It's got two little lift here tabs. So each time you start this, you just want to kind of look out here and make sure it's not clogged up. Got a bunch of stuff in it, and it says in the maintenance how often to change this as well. So it's not until 50 hours that you have to change the oil again. So it's every 50 hours you're gonna be changing this oil, and it's at 50 hours that you want to check and or change that filter. So if it looks really nasty, just go ahead and change it. So that's all there is. Thanks so much, Eric, for helping. And I'll see you guys on the next time I need to do some maintenance on this. I'll have a playlist in the description, so go ahead and check that out, guys. Subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one.